Bus structures. Bus structure in computer organization. A bus is a collection of wires that connect several devices. Buses are used to send control signals and data between the processor and other components. This is to achieve a reasonable speed of operation. In a computer system, all the peripherals are connected to microprocessor through bus. Buses can be unidirectional or bidirectional. In a computer architecture, a bus is a subsystem that transfers data between components inside a computer or between computers. Early computer buses were literally parallel electrical wires with multiple connections, but modern computer buses can use both parallel and bit serial connections. What is parallel bus? Parallel buses have a relatively large number of wires bundled together that enable data to be transferred in parallel, while the serial bus connections which use relatively few wires are generally simpler than parallel connections. Universal serial bus, or what we call the USB, is a common serial bus.
There are three types of bus structures. These are address bus, data bus, and control bus. Firstly is address bus. Address bus is used to carry the address. It is unidirectional bus. The address is sent from CPU to memory and I/O port or input or output port, and hence unidirectional. It consists of 16, 20, to 24 or more parallel signal lines. Secondly, the data bus. Data bus is used to carry or transfer data from memory and I/O ports. They are bidirectional. The processor can read on data lines from memory and input or output port, and as well as it can write data to memory. It consists of 8, 16, 32, or more parallel signal lines. Lastly, the control bus. Control bus is used to carry control signals in order to regulate the control activities. They are bidirectional also. The CPU sends from signals on the control bus to enable the outputs of address memory memory devices or port devices. Ready signal that denotes that a device is ready or ready processing. Interrupt signal that indicates to a device to interrupt its process.
And so, CPU, memory, input-output unit, these three components communicates with the use of buses. We have the data bus, address bus, and control bus. First is the data bus. Data bus may get or pass data to CPU, memory, and input-output units. And for the address bus, it will get the address from the CPU and it will pass to the memory or into the input-output unit. And next is the control bus. The word control, it manages the unit or parts of the computer. It means that it will control the CPU, the memory, and the input-output unit. We have here the different types of control signals that are used in a bus. Memory read. This signal is issued by the CPU or DMA controller when performing a read operation with the memory. Memory write. This signal is issued by the CPU when performing a write operation with the memory. Next is the I/O read. This signal issued by the CPU when it is reading from an input port. I/O write. This signal is issued by the CPU when writing into an output port. Ready signal. The ready is an output signal to the CPU generated in order to synchronize the show memory or input-output ports with the fast CPU. That's all. Thank you and God bless.